Oh, yo, what is up? I did not mean to do this in the dark. Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. I was about to sit down and record, and I was making some muffins, and I forgot to set a timer, so I was waiting on them. Hopefully, we'll get this recording done in one. And yes, Gohan was never the best LR to come out of the Worldwide 2024. So in this video, I'm going to talk about which of the four I like in which order. And then I'm going to talk about overall the celebration, what I thought about it. So overall, every unit is good. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. Every unit is great. This is the best Worldwide 2024 celebration out there as well. Why? Because none of the units that came out that came off of banners sucked. None of them. Zero. In every other Worldwide before this, maybe if you were lucky, one unit was good for half a year, right? The rest were super mediocre or very bad, especially extreme units, because only until recently did extreme units start getting love. This year was a banger. Now, the events are not the greatest. I went and played that Super Saiyan Gohan one without having like Tech Broly or pretty much units that are just gonna like cook them quickly. And the event can go on for a long time if you're not using units that are dropping 20, 30, 40 million attack stats every turn, every attack. So that's actually not a bad stage, but overall, I wouldn't have minded stages to at least last a little bit longer, not necessarily hit harder, you know. They try some new mechanics here and there, so I would still say, even with the events being as kind of poopy as they were, and not as many, I think, not as many easy A's as we've gotten from other Worldwides. Everything that we've gotten when it comes to units, except for maybe Int Broly's Dokkan Fest, TUR, has been just amazing. It's been great. No one's really felt left behind but that one unit. I think overall, the celebration is the best Worldwide we've had ever. Now, you know, I just, especially because the four main units that came out, none of them were duds. I don't see how you can argue against that. It just doesn't really make sense to be able to argue against that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the four units. We have four units, all right? Some people have said Gohan is the number one Dokkan, the number one unit in the game, number one LR in the game. I don't know. I feel like I disagree. As far as best units from the Worldwide, I don't think he's the most valuable unit out of the Worldwide at all. Not even close. I would say he is the least valuable unit from the Worldwide. So already right there, we're going to put that boy right in the fourth spot. Sorry. Just pretend the letters are numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not a B rank. It's just, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Which units are the most valuable? Now, I'm going to pull up my Kamehameha team, right? Which is very powerful. Now, I waited until the very final part of the celebration to do this. And we have another unit that can be thrown onto it. We actually have a very, very powerful EZA that's jumped into the game out of nowhere. I haven't used them yet, but I've seen and I've heard, and they're just crazy. I used Janemba, and Janemba was fine. He took no damage. He wasn't dealing damage, but he wasn't taking damage. I really needed to go do the videos for these two, to be honest. But I'm gonna take this on other people's words for this one, and from what I've read, this guy is great, right? So he's already a huge asset to the team. As far as the Kamehameha goes, right before this happened, even then, the reason why I still put this guy at number 4, and I'm not going to be, here he is right here. Oh, that's not him. He's over here. Where'd he go? Hey, where the heck is? All right, maybe I don't have him open. Okay, so here's his Kamehameha list, right? To be fair, because there are some units that I won't have, like Tech UI Goku, right? Well, look at your team. You could have Tech UI Goku instead of, you know, Trunks and Goten, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Super Saiyan 3 Goku can get caught and has gotten caught plenty of times. As far as slot 1 units go, I'm going to assume this guy's slot 1, this guy can be slot 1, these guys can be slot 1 and get caught, and once you put one of the Gohans in standby, they're going to be sitting in slot 1, right? So it's already very, very good. But as far as he was required, I guess we could take a look at his team a little bit more. As you keep going, you're going to see units that are a little bit older and maybe not function as good. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I've used a few times. He can still be runnable. And pretty much, I think almost everything that came out in the Worldwide, he's runnable. And he was runnable during the anniversary, so he's good. We go down here. I don't have these guys, but, you know, I've seen plenty of crazy showcases, right? We have SCR units that are still rocking and pretty good. UI, the SCR Goku and Vegeta, still both pretty good. We come down here. We can pick and choose, like, 1 or 2 villains, like maybe Physical Boo, maybe Int Boo, maybe we want a combination of Boo and Boo. Kamehameha is not a dead category. It's a very good category, right? But as far as Gohan the unit goes, Gohan the unit is just not, at 55% for me, he's just not doing what he needs to do. Or what the others are doing that came out with the Worldwide. He's good. He's great. He's not amazing. He's not the best unit out of the 4. I would say he's actually the least best unit out of the 4, right? They're all great, but he's not necessary. He's not necessary. You could have ran other super tight teams right now in the game that would have performed and got you through the content just fine, no items, and never needed a Gohan on the team, all right? And I'm not holding his leader skill against him, because his leader skill, 1, it's going to get better as he goes on. 2, he's going to age probably very, very gracefully, too. So he's going to age better. But I'm looking at the here and now and for the next 6 months right now that the Worldwide's done with. He wasn't necessary. So that's why I go ahead and put him at number 4. Number 3, this was actually tough. The last 3 were very tough to do. And I'm not really making a biased opinion. I'm going to put the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks here. Now, the reason why they're the 3rd best unit on the team is I'm not going to say they're not necessary, but they're so good at making other units good, they kind of bring back from the depths older units, right? So if we take a look at this, right, I'm able to run these. And again, Tech Gogeta just made it to the team. This team was already very powerful. I could also take off Gohan. I don't have to have Gohan right here. And then Bulma gets a little bit better because of the support here. So as long as I have their support going, right, a movie hero unit or an all-out struggle unit on the turn, we're going to make everybody else look even better than they were. They are a phenomenal unit. As far as super type units go, I would say this is a very valuable and must-have unit for your teams because they're going to elevate everything else. They're going to elevate other units for some time to come. Now, I put them at number 3 because, again, they're not as necessary, though. And this really comes down to, you know, the tier list that I'm doing really just comes down to what's happened in the past in Dokkan and kind of where we're at here. If I look at a list, if I look at 4 units like this next year, I may not have the same opinion because I assume Dokkan's in a very good place. And we're not going to go backwards, you know, from where things go. So you can argue one of 2 ways. Now, I'm going to argue right here, Tech Broly, all right? Tech Broly is the 2nd best unit. He's nearly a must unit for extreme units. He has everything you want. He's slot 1. He's going to be slot 1 for, you know, 1, 2, 3 turns. He's going to be powerful for the majority of the fight. He's going to be very devastating. He's going to be what villains needed. A slot 1 unit that can tank. And kind of that's really it. His kit is very well designed. The things that he's missing is like orb changing, support, right? So they're literally, villains are just missing a Bulma unit. Like, just LR Evil Bulma is what villains are missing. I've talked about this before. Now, what I hold against this guy is his leader skill. The reason why I don't put him at the top is because his leader skill is a little bit lacking. Now, don't get me wrong. The team you can put together is very powerful, right? I have Broly, Janemba, which is now very, very good. And then we have Broly and Hirudegarn. Now, to keep it fair, because I don't have all of the movie bosses, you know, I go over here. The big Elephant in the room, Cell Max. I don't have Cell Max. Cell Max would immediately go onto this team over Hirudegarn and over Broly, right? I wouldn't argue putting him over anyone else on the team before I get these two out of here, right? So already right away, you can make the point that Cell Max has a place on the team. Bio Broly could be put on the team, If you're making orbs, the Broly Chi-Line Lemo could be put on the team. But unfortunately, right now, I don't believe anyone's really making orbs outside of STR Broly, and then STR Broly wants rainbow orbs. So unless I'm forgetting someone, we're not making orbs. We have AGL Broly, but he kind of clashes with Int Broly. But since you're only running one Int Broly, he's not a bad choice, right? So the movie bosses is still flexible. I've used AGL Golden Frieza in some of these events that have come out during the Worldwide. That 90% is going to age so well. All right, and then you have units that are going to Easy A and Super Easy A down the line that are going to be looking pretty good. I'm trying to see if anyone... There's nobody here outside of like maybe a TUR Janemba that might get an Easy A or a Super Easy A sometime in the near future, right? Or some Golden Frieza. So movie bosses is going to be limited to what you have, and that's why I hold it, because you might not have a lot of these units. I have most of the units that are going to be very valuable and ran on a lot of teams, so I'm going to hold him at number 2 because he's necessary and he was needed for Extreme Villains. Last year Worldwide, Villains could be ran not as good as this year, not even close, right? And it was only until last year that they really started like making villains with teams. And I know people might say, well, what about AGL First Form Frieza? Where's his team at? It's coming. You see all that Namek Saga stuff? Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing that they dropped Frieza in the, in the spring, and let's say we're not going to get Namek Saga stuff that's going to revolve around him and Space Traveling Warriors and all that, whatever he needs, right? For the 10th anniversary, that's not a good time span of just leaving Frieza out to dry. However, he's not a slot 1 unit, and so he can be in slot 2 or slot 3, and he's just going to fit fine on the team when his team finally comes together. But for the most part, teams have cohesively been coming together for villains much more since last year's Worldwide into this year's Worldwide, as a testament with the Majin Buu Saga team, the anniversary leading into the Worldwide, which just built on the Brolys, right, and super bosses. Now, you could argue Rose. Rose kind of feels a little bit left out, I'm not going to lie. He definitely needs a celebration that's going to really hook him up. So, villains are not perfect, but I would say Tech Broly is going to be good. Anywhere you can put this guy, he's going to be very valuable for every villain team that this guy can fit under. And if you take a look at it, he's got a lot of categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The new Vegeta that just came out. Bam, right there, right? The Easy A's and Super Easy A's. Legendary Existence. AGL Final Form Frieza. He's going to fit right on the team. He's going to be great. You have options, right? So that's why I put him at number 2. And then, no, it's not because I'm the number 1 Int Broly defender, but Int Broly just brings too much to the table to put him below Gohan, Goku, and you could argue these two like this, but because his team is a little bit more flexible, right? So again, Gohan's not necessary. These guys aren't necessary, but they're highly valuable to kind of giving life support to other super type units that have come out before they, to give them another extra months or miles to their lifespan, right? He's just needed everywhere on a villain team. Anywhere, any team you put him on, he's good to go, bro. Just lock in. He's good. He's good. All right. And then this guy's team is very flexible. Now he's gonna live and die based on uncontrollable power. But now we just got Easy A Janemba, right? Just dropped into the game. So let's go ahead and find this guy, and we'll take a look at his team right here. Here he is. All right. So if we take a look at his team is pretty straightforward. He has a lot going for him, right? So I would say Int Broly, Tech Broly, and Janemba. These 3 are core to the team. You can run them. They're going to be phenomenal. They're going to be great. They're going to be good. Now, if you dive into the 4th spot, this guy, he is a weak spot. He could get caught until he transforms, and then if he's not 18 key supering, he's going to, he's going to get hit hard. So AoE bosses are going to be this guy's counter. A lot of AoE bosses still to this day are going to crush units because a lot of them still need to super attack first, right? Now, Boo's on the team because Boo is a buffer for reviving. He's just someone on the team that, oh, you need to revive early? I got you. And it can be him. And then this Broly, he can build up and get better, right? And he's just a placeholder. Now, as far as his categories go, if we take a look at Planetary Destruction, Uncontrollable Power, and Revenge, first off, if you're not running Uncontrollable Power, it's going to be tougher for you to get his domain off, right? But the unit himself, he supports for a limited amount of time. He's a phenomenal tank. When you're running 2 of him as a leader skill, you don't get just 1 powerful unit. You get 2 powerful units for how many turns? 6 turns. That's a long time. Depending on the fight, some fights can go far beyond 6 turns, but that doesn't mean you have to activate the domains right away. You could have setups where you don't need his domain turn 1. You could have setups where you don't need his domain for 3 turns. It's very good, it's very valuable, and very nice. Now, he does cut off like AGL Broly. If you're going to run a double of this guy, you probably are not putting AGL LR Broly from the Anniversary on the team. I don't really see it myself. But if we take a look at Planetary Destruction, right, we're going to have the Broly, right, any of the Golden Freezes that get better, right, we're going to have Tech Broly. You could get away with Turles, but, he really needs something. He needs a better team to run. You can get some super units on here, but you're probably not going to see too many. He's on his way to an Easy A. We're not far away from this guy's Easy A, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it's going to be maybe within the next half a year. I think when Garlic Jr. drops, this guy's going to Easy A, and Garlic Jr. will be getting a card. And now, boom, Uncontrollable Power, another unit. He's a supporting unit with his active skill. They could also give him some. There's a lot they could do with it. But I don't want to look too far into the future of what could happen, right? And we're going to look at it. So Uncontrollable Power, does have some decent options. And then you have, Planetary Destruction. Then you have Revenge. Revenge is not that great, right? Orange Piccolo, he's slot 2 and slot 3. You just keep scrolling down. You just see the same Brolys already. Broly. You keep going down. You're going to see some units that you're probably not ever going to be able to run. Tech Ultimate Gohan can be runnable, but, he can get outpaced depending on how fast. With the Tech Bro, this guy is going to determine how fast you're going to go through events, and he's going to determine whether or not other units that have to build up are going to be crushed, right? If they're going to fall behind. He's literally the unit on your team that he decides how you build your team. You either build your team to be very powerful for a short amount of time, and he just carries you through it, or you don't put him on your team and you can build a slower team, right, that can kind of get through events at a slower pace, but still be as strong over time. I would say he's like the pivot unit, right? He's going to determine what you're going to do. And you keep going down, and you're going to see, again, you're going to want units that are Uncontrollable Power. And then if you look at Uncontrollable Power itself, again, he has more variety here. He's going to have himself. He has the Bio Broly, which can be runnable. Very good unit. He has all the other Brolys, right? We have Cell Max, which is a very valuable unit if you have it. You have the Janemba. You have the Buhan, which, he's now at the lower end of units that I would recommend running. And then down the line, you're going to be looking at units. You're probably not going to run the Boos without Boos other than Int Fat Boo. The Rudergarn's going to be good as long as he's dodging, right? He can be replaced on almost any team because of his mechanics and how he's built. If he flounders on the first turn, he feels really, really, really bad. And you keep on going, and Uncontrollable Power actually has a lot of units from a lot of different places. Now, again, this unit is going to, as far as who's going to age better, he's going to probably age the worst, I would say. I would say he's going to age the worst, depending on how they power creep the game, right? So pretty much the 10th anniversary is going to determine whether or not this guy is going to be as good as he is or not, because it's not him per se that's going to be bad. It's the other Uncontrollable Power units around him. And if we look at it, we have, he can be good for a long time. He can be good for a long time. He can get caught. And boom, and then he can be... So you have 3 immediate units. So you have 4, if you run double leader, you have 4 units that are probably going to age phenomenally well, right? And give you a good setup and a good chance to get this guy's domain. And then you have, the other... 3 units that are going to kind of, well, I guess you have Janemba, right? So, wow, you have 5 units. So you're just missing 2. I mean, you know what? I'm starting to talk him down, but I'm going right back up. Anyway, why I have Broly at the top is not because I'm just gonna be a Broly defender. It's just because he's doing too much right now, and he's gonna do a lot going forward. All right, I still think he's gonna age depending on the units around him. He's gonna age very well. They're gonna age very well because super type units usually shine brighter and they're more abundant than extreme type units throughout the year. And this guy, he's gonna be good by himself, period. I'm pretty sure he's not dependent on anyone or anything. He does want another Kamehameha or Earthbred Fighter category ally in the turn, which is, you know, not hard to do. Pick a Goku, any Goku, you're good to go, right? And you just, Earthbred Fighter is done. Anyway, thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This was just who's the most valuable unit out of the 2024 Worldwide Download Celebration. And this is what I've kind of concluded. Again, they're all, if you ask me to put them on a tier list, this is it, this is them. They're all right there at Z. Every single one is a Z tier character. Especially these guys. I would put them at the front of the list because of how they're going to help other units age. But if I'm going to say, you know, what's, you know, the most valuable unit, I'm going to go like this. And that's because extreme villains needed these two more than super type units needed this. Extreme villains needed this more than the super type units needed this. That's how I see it. If next year we have the same kind of, you know, villains are looking good, they're building villains properly, right? They're not, you know, kind of like throwing them to the side. You know, a list would look like this. It would look like this. You know, they would be at the top because they're just, you know, all right, same thing as last year. These guys are just like doing way more, you know, by, you know, breathing life into everyone else versus not. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree? And yeah, we got Vegeta coming up in a couple of days. Good luck on the summons. Enjoy your night, evening, morning, whatever it may be. Peace out. And I will see you next time.